Namaste. I'm very, very, very pleased that this conference, international conference of Cradles, is being held in Hyderabad along with the Ubik and Society in Hyderabad and the Apollo Hospital clinics headed by Chandrasekhar. We need this. We need safe deliveries. We need healthy children. And more importantly, we want enjoyable parents. So when I had my 4 daughters, this is what I had. I was very happy that they were born well, they were well looked after, and I had great systems. But I had a greater pleasure when my grandchildren were born. I have 10 grandchildren. At every stage, it was just not saying, yes, the child is born. I used to inquire every single detail of the entire procedure, and they would say what all they have done to make a significant impact on the delivery of a child and looking after the child after in the neonatology. So each one of these departments have made a significant impact as we went along. And this is where I thought to myself, the joy that I had as a father, the joy I had, extreme joy that I had as a grandfather was tremendous. So I said, why not create a facility which will give that ultimate thing for birth of a child. This is how the first cradle was thought of, and we did that in Delhi, looking after every single aspect so that the whole atmosphere was enjoyable and the procedure was to the perfection. So I thank all of them who created that vision for me and gave me that great pleasure of creating the cradles. Now I can say I had 4 great-grandsons were born in this cradle. And what a pleasure it is. So I think this is wonderful. I mean, all that I want to say is, as doctors, we need to give the clinical excellence. But when you are giving clinical excellence, but it's nice to think, saying, especially in giving the pleasure for the parent, giving a child, and to the grandparent, giving a grandchild, if you also package it very well and give a beautiful product, how wonderful that is. That's what they've all done. Thank you all very much. But now coming back to the conference, I'm very happy and that we have distinguished faculty from international and the national faculty, and so many of you from across the country have come to see what can we do to make the entire spectrum of OBGYN better than the best that we have ever seen. I always say there is no use saying we are good. Are you good? And are you very good? Or are you as good as any place anywhere in the world? And I think this is the prestige that we should all take. In whatever we do, we must be able to give the very best and also say that we've done the very best that's happening anywhere in the world. This is why I particularly thank the international faculty for them being here, exchanging what they can do and what we can do so that we can give the very best to the most important, the child, the mother, and of course, the guarantee for the parents and the grandparents. Sangeeta also mentioned about my village. I come from a small village in Andhra. We took up looking after 170 hamlets, looking after them from first breath to the last breath. One aspect which Sangeeta mentioned and which I want to reiterate is that had a very severe both neonatal and maternal mortality, sometimes to the tune of 30, 40, something like that. So in the last 3 years, thanks to all the help and the systems that they have brought in, it's almost perfect. It's unfortunate they lost one child, but this is creditable. And everybody is now looking at saying, how could you do it in those villages? When we have in all these metros, we have these beautiful facilities and most creditable doctors looking around. But I must only thank the credible doctors who gave us the systems so that we could implement it there and then bring this excellence at thing. This is what I think. What we learn, what we give back to society is the most important thing. So in it, I think in the last 35 years since Apollo is born, we had our anniversary about 4 weeks ago. We were recollecting, I must repeat, I started Apollo because I'm a cardiologist. There was no cardiac surgery program in the country, acceptable program in the country. So I used to send my patients mostly to Dr. Denton Cooley in Houston, who is my guru and a particular friend of mine. And one of those days in 1979, I lost a young man, and leaving behind a 31-year-old wife, 4-year-old daughter, 2-year-old son. You know why? He couldn't raise $50,000 to go and have surgery in Houston. The surgery was supposed to be in October, and he died in December. And these three were absolutely shattered. That's when I thought, how many are going to die because they can't raise this kind of $50,000? And why should they? If Indian doctors, Indian scientists, Indian engineers, and today Indian IT people, Indian doctors are par excellence, why can't we do this here? So it was not easy. It only gave me that 57 trips to Delhi, gave me BP, gave me hypertension, made my ECG changes. But thanks to all of it, I am fine. And now the Apollo has done practically everything that could be done to be saying that in India we have healthcare of the international standards and continuously wanting to upgrade. There's nothing that we can ever say we are best and we stay there. What we are now looking for is saying, what is it that we can do to give more? Because anything more that we can give in better health is a great happiness to first, to the patients who trust us, and to their relatives, and for us mostly, so I thank all of you for participating in this, and our wish is common. Our wish is that we'll give the very best to the person who has put trust in us. God bless all of you. I love all of you. Again, my special thanks for the faculty from abroad as well as from India for making this conference. Without you, they would have just had Hyderabad biryani and gone back. Thank you. God bless.